Okay, it's 8:40 p.m. on September 23rd, 2020. You can say, "Well, it already happened." Yeah. Okay, but even if that already happened and there was a wrong, short of death, and even actually including death, then it's not only the individual that is wronged, it's also the community. This is part of concepts of uh, restorative justice, but it's also established already under precedent up to the level of the Supreme Court of the United States and in the legal traditions and canons of other countries as well. We are talking about something that has cross border jurisdiction here. And it has to be understood that the School of Concern was a private school, and while not officially a religious institution and not adhering to a specific faith tradition as part of the curriculum, it did maintain a preservation of an understanding of the rights of people based on their religious preference who attended the school, as well as respect for their family, including families that might have traditions of more than one faith tradition as part of their family legacy. So, in my experience, there were students that were Catholic, but they were the minority. A primary faith tradition that the students themselves expressed and identified as, which means that their families would have understood they identified as, and which meant that their families would have to be consulted and provided with an opportunity to give confirmation of their approval. There's no default. There's not any, well, by virtue of allowing your kids to go to school, by default, you've implied you've already provided your consent to anything else we want to do. No. And while there may be some understandings of specific local affiliates that might have a different way of being, which happens, right here, I'm looking at what I have available to me in English. The National Association of Evangelicals and the Southern Baptist Conference oppose gambling, and last year opposed a bill that would have expanded online poker. This is from October of 2013. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints is opposed to gambling, including lotteries sponsored by governments. Church leaders have encouraged church members to join with others in opposing the legalization and government sponsorship of any form of gambling. A Seventh day Adventist statement on gambling. Gambling, defined as a paid game of chance, increasingly impacts more and more people all over the world. The concept of winning at the expense of others has become a modern curse. Its damaging effects on individuals and society. The Seventh day Adventist Church rejects gambling as defined above and will not solicit nor accept funding that is clearly derived from gambling. Now, you could have refused to ask, but then that also means you've refused to obtain consent.